Welcome into QB1, presented by Reps VR, as we take a opportunity to chat with some of the best and brightest young quarterbacks and their coaches across the Lone Star State. And we've got one of the very best and brightest quarterbacks joining us. We're joined by Southlake Carroll quarterback Quinn Ewers and his coach, Riley Dodge. Quinn, appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
And Coach, appreciate you taking a little bit of time to chat with us as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quinn, I want to start with you. You're a guy who, last year I think you really made a name for yourself across the state of Texas as a sophomore. I'm interested. What do you think you were able to do as far as growing is concerned? What do you think you learned throughout the course of last year, which was such a breakout year for you?
Yeah, so just learned that it's obviously faster than any other football I've played. And it's more fun than any football I've played. It's probably the most fun I've had playing football since I was in flag. So, yeah, I just learned it's a lot of fun and it's faster. And, yes, sir.
Sweet. Coach, you know a little something about quarterbacks, especially Southlake Carroll quarterbacks. I'm interested from your perspective about maybe the difference you saw from your quarterback in week one to what you saw by the time that the season was over.
Yeah, I think the big confidence, I think that's with every quarterback and young quarterback when they get their first start and, getting their first year on the belt. And it's kind of lighting a model for Quinn in our offense. Quinn was really lucky to have a great group of guys around him, a lot of upper class, played a lot of football that really gave Quinn a lot of confidence as a sophomore. And then you saw week in, week out. And, as we got into district, you saw his confidence really come out, and we were able to do a lot more offensively as Quinn got comfortable.
Quinn, a question for you as far as what you need to do to take the next step. I'm interested, obviously you had a sensational sophomore year, but everybody wants to get better. So my question for you is, what are you focused on as far as taking that next step and going from being, the quarterback you were last year to an even better quarterback?
Yeah. So one of the main things is just being able to just read that defense better and know more about every defensive position, and mainly that, and knowing where the defense is going to move to pre-snap. And yes, sir.
Coach, kind of a similar question for you. You've got a young quarterback who's on the rise, a guy who you want to see get to even higher heights. What are you encouraging him to do as far as going from what he was last year, which was obviously spectacular, to be even better?
Yeah, kind of what he's talked about. Taking that next step as a quarterback. With your intangibles, your leadership abilities. I think that's one thing. I've pushed, personally, I've pushed Quinn and the rest of our quarterbacks. And, going into this next year, I mean, he's a veteran on our football team. We don't have right now, lives, and he's got 14 games under his belt. And that's one thing we're going to really lean on him and with his experience. And then, taking that next step and really understand defensive football, and letting the game really slow down for you. And, when the game really slows down for you is when you understand what the defense is doing, pre-snap and post-snap. And, you can see a young quarterback take that next and really elevate his game when he knows what the defense is doing before the ball hits your hands.
And Quinn, obviously the off season has been a jumbled mess because of the coronavirus pandemic and things like that. One question for you is what have you been doing to stay sharp? Obviously, getting together with and practicing as a team was kind of out. What have you been doing to stay sharp and to continue improving while you're unable to be with your teammates?
Yeah. So when it first kind of started, and we wouldn't throw with the guys like twice a week. Me and the receivers would go throw, and we kept that consistency throughout like the whole quarantine thing. And we kept going and throwing at a field or whatever. It wouldn't even have to be a football field; it'd just be like a park because football fields were closing. So we would just go to a random park and at least go through the route tree or whatever. So we stayed on that aspect of the game. We stayed pretty tight on, and some of the guys would come over to my house because I have a squat rack, and we would lift over here. And everybody else just kind of found out a way to, either do body weight stuff or find a gym that was, open, or they had a rack themselves. So.
And coach, you're a guy, as we mentioned, you're a guy who knows a little bit about quarterbacking yourself. You know how important it is to, this time of development and getting better. So how have you stayed connected to your guys when you haven't been able to be in the same room as them?
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. A lot of Zoom meetings. Quinn will tell you that. We right when everything hit, we hopped right on the Zoom, and I think we got ahead of it and had a lot of quarterback meetings and a lot of offensive installs. And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise where, we had so much time on our hands. So we're really able to slow down our install each. And but yeah, a lot of time on the computer talking virtually.
Coach, I want to stick with you for one more question, which is, if you look back on your quarterback's year last year, Quinn's year last year, is there one play or there's one read or one throw that he made that you go, yeah, that's the play, that's the one that proves how special he is?
Yeah, there's two plays that come to mind. One was early in the season against Odessa Permian. On a deep shot to one of our younger receivers coming back, Landon Sampson, for a big touchdown to get us going. And that was a ball that, makes you, everybody kind of look at each other and say, wow. And the next play was, we had a really big showdown with Denton Geyer in district play that, sealed the district championship for us. And it was late in the ball game. We were kind of in a 4-minute drill, and we had the ball and we needed to seal the game. And we just ran a little quarterback outside zone into the boundary, and he took us to the house. I give him a hard time because I don't think he's very fast, but somehow he was able to run away from their defense, and they got a lot of guys in their back end that can really run, and he was able to pick up his long legs and pick up some strides. But those are two big plays that I think, one early in the game, early in the season, and one early in district play that, I thought that we definitely had something with our young quarterback.
And Quinn, I'm going to give you the last word here because I teed Coach up to make fun of you a little bit, so I'm going to let you kind of return the favor. Quarterbacks stick together, and quarterbacks tend to be an insular community. Are there phrases that you get sick of hearing Coach say? Are there things like immediately of say what's the thing that what's his catchphrase? What do you hear more than anything from Coach Dodge?
Our coaches like to quote John Gruden, so any of his stuff.
So it's a lot. It's a lot of John Gruden, a lot of Chucky in the huddle.
Oh yeah, especially with our other Coach Williams. Whenever he was here, because he just went to Timber Creek. Whenever he was here, that's when they would do it back and forth.
Coach, are you going to confirm or deny that?
I'll confirm it. That's something that. Big John Gruden fan. He's very entertaining to me. We like to pull up a solid YouTube clip to start off a offensive meeting and kind of lighten the mood a little bit and let John Gruden. We like the knock if you're with me, and so yeah, big John Gruden fan.
He is Quinn Ewers. He is QB1 for Southlake Carroll and Coach Riley Dodge. Guys, really appreciate your time. Congratulations again on a fantastic 2019, and best of luck down the road.
Thanks, Greg.